Okay, hello to the final session of View Realms, and Bibby the Draggy is our DM.
I mean, it's not the final session of View Realms, it's the final session of this arc.
Well,
Yeah, that's the last session ever.
And my final session.
Oh no.
No.
It's the final countdown. Does anyone need a recap?
Probably,
It
it's
would
been
not-
several months.
It would not be a bad idea.
I don't need a recap, so let's just keep going, ignoring everyone else's opinion.
Alright, fair enough. I don't know.
Oh, Siren's here. I'm sorry, I couldn't see that name count, and I should have waited. Oh well.
Alright. Anywho, so for a recap, last time you guys did things.
Oh.
Alright, good recap. Let's go.
Druid.
We're prepared now.
I think the DM needs a recap. Hold on one sec.
Druid murdered a guy.
So last
Yay, good job.
time
Good job,
was
Druid.
the pirates and the Fallout Fœnum.
Well, I mean, those
I think
were several
Pirates were
sessions,
before
but
that,
yes.
But just give an
Oh, wait.
overall campaign recap for this is lead up to it, big thriller.
So these characters here, we have Zoe, Kashmir, Xiaoxi, Aster, and Tide, all going through the Tower of Believers on a quest to find out what the heck is up with this place. And met with them is a couple NPCs such as... Didn't we have tokens for Velocity and Gauze?
We did, but
I think so.
I can post them. I have a whole folder of sprites for no reason whatsoever. Don't worry.
Alright, apparently we don't have tokens for these guys, but anyways.
I have a whole folder of sprites for very understandable reasons.
You can't see them on this stream unless we edit them in, which we probably won't because I'm bad at that. But they're in the chat.
Also, deep apologies for this team and tabletop is just taking so.
So pretty much each character was introduced by NPCs, and after just barely making it out of the last room with their lives, you guys find yourself in yet another circular room with, again, looking out the window, you guys are above the cloud level at this point. Unsure of really how high this tower is up to go. What do you do?
Was last time us fleeing through that
The goals.
wasteland, or...
Yes.
You flee
Yes, that was last time.
You
Okay,
find
because I don't remember that being deadly. I remember stabbing a bunch of fools.
It was
There were
deadly.
just a lot of them.
It was a very successful.
There were a lot of them, and I think a few people had the death roll because they got close enough.
Yeah, they had some kind of like nasty thing they could do if they hit you.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
they
only
would
remember.
instantly kill people.
I only
No
remember
HP.
seven-sided striking a whole bunch of them.
Yep. So you find yourself in a round stone brick laid. But there's a book behind you that you just got out, with a title very similar to Zoe in her own Fallout Fœnum and her own writing. In front of you is yet another. This book seems to have a bit of a... You just see the pages of it, and it has a bit of a tattered look to it, as if the book is a bit old. Around you can feel a deep chill through the windows, as you also find it a little hard to breathe due to the lack of oxygen of being so high up in the air. Nothing else besides your party is in.
For now.
Wait, that does.
For now. I suppose the first thing Zoe's going to do is go around like she has once before and just check if everyone's alright, and also probably tend to her traumatized children by now. And Xiaoxi, the other adorable traumatized child. Let's protect.
And Druid.
The childlike traumatized druid.
Uh-huh.
Alright, what about, let's see, the other NPCs, they're sort of laying down a bit, resting from the run you have. We have Velocity is, stumbles over and starts getting drunk, as she does. Gauze over, we have both Gauze and Carthel both seem to be arguing a bit with each other. Carthel wanting to move on while Gauze insisting that you guys stay here or at least rest for 30 minutes, maybe even for the night.
Xiaoxi approaches Gauze and kind of just like lingers by his side, but otherwise stays quiet.
While Xiaoxi does this, Gauze slowly, sort of he picks up his hoof and runs through her hair a bit caringly, the water parting along his hoof, but not actually getting wet due to Xiaoxi's weird properties.
That's one to the counter.
Oh no!
Wait, what did I do? What did I do? Okay.
Anyway.
I forgot, what was the counter for?
So
It was I believe that one was for misgendering them.
Oh, yeah. Dude. His, okay.
Anyway. So, well, depending... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
How loud is this argument? Is it... I reckon it's probably loud enough to hear.
It's not loud. It's more like they're arguing. They're keeping it in a civil tone, but you can tell by the tone of... They're not raising their voices, but you can tell by the tone of their voices that they aren't really agreeing.
And Gauze, I'm guessing, wants to rest, and Carthel wants to, go?
Carthel wants to keep moving. Gauze wants to rest.
Of course. I guess Zoe is going to try to mediate and go over to them. And I guess join the Gauze side and explain simply. We went through a lot with that run.
How do you do it?
I will try to have a good voice. Look, Carthel, we went through a lot with that run. We all almost got really hurt. It would be good to stay for a little. Doesn't seem like there's anything around. And she gives a little glance towards, like, Xiaoxi and her kids.
Gauze sort of gives a nod. Your kids, despite, having actually rested because they're believers.
So you cut out for me.
He died. Oh, he's muted for some reason.
What?
Oh, I'm muted. Have I muted the entire time?
No, you
No,
just
it
muted
happened.
yourself like 3 seconds ago.
Yeah, it happened in the middle of a sentence.
Okay, that's weird. Anyways, so as you look over your kids, you notice despite the rest that they received earlier, they seem really tired, which is understandable, considering what they went through. All except for one. You notice that Tally is sort of jumping around, while the other ones are more sleeping in a pile. Aurora is actually resting on top of Druid, while the sleeping, or not really sleeping, but more dozing off to the side.
So does the little off.
Yeah. Druid's smiling wearily, and it looks pretty tired too.
So is going to hug all of them soon.
Hey, did you kill Rose?
Nope.
No,
Hello.
Oh.
It's only
Alright.
been 10 minutes. You haven't
I got
missed
held
much.
up with something.
we're deciding on
It's okay.
whether to kill Rose or not.
Alright.
Rose is not done the dead.
She's one of
literally
those not
just
real
got held up
people,
with something.
right?
They are real people.
No, they're
They're just
not.
book people. Wow.
They're figments of your imagination, please.
Everything's a figment of your imagination if you're like
Yes,
in a
but these
coma.
are actual figments of your
How do you
imagination.
know that you're not in a
They're
coma?
not They're not figments of your imagination. So
They're
Figments
figments
of
of our
my
collective
imagination.
imagination.
Okay, that's
They're
fair.
figments of someone's
Alright.
imagination.
no, it's not.
Aster. Aster, you feel the gem in your bag sort of bouncing lightly as it makes a little like a boom sound.
Brain. Ha.
It was set right.
This gem, I shall take it out and observe it.
Alright, the
There is-
crystal is just staring at you as it flashes some light colors and goes boom boom and sort of floats around slightly in a circle.
Mhm. Well, I wish I knew what you're saying, but I'm just gonna put you back in the bag for now.
Means you got a text message.
Back in the bag, Nebby.
Time to sleep.
Alright. So what is your team?
We're resting.
Yeah, I think resting is the thing to do.
Kashmir also is in favor of resting,
Okay.
although he's not making a stink about it.
Alright. After about like a good 10 to 15 minutes argument, Carthel finally gives as he says, "Fine, I'll rest here. On in 8 hours. I'd like to get this thing over with at this point."
Lit. Is that what I'm saying? I don't know words.
Would anyone like to do anything during this rest time?
Yeah, it does mean we get our. It's been a while. What are the rainbow gem abilities called? Universals?
Limited.
Limited.
Limiteds? Do we get
Yeah.
our limiteds back?
Oh yes, those are
Yeah.
Kashmir is going to immediately use the one that gives him 5 scrolls.
Of course.
Give me a dice roll.
I'd really rather not, but okay.
Oh yeah, Zoe didn't get her mask back, did she? Oh.
1 second. I need to find
sorry.
a charging cable for my keyboard.
So, where was your mask?
Aster has it.
Oh
Ask-
yes.
Because he disarmed it of her when they fought. She's probably going to lament that a little bit, while she sort of tends to her kids and to Druid.
Well, I can't protect the party if the party's trying to kill me, so we need to make compromises.
Protect the party from what?
You're the one who paid me to be here, so
I got a 10.
one of you.
I feel like Tide
and-
would fire you at this point.
He has fired him at this point.
What's your password?
Password. Oh, I just said that. I'm gonna have to edit that out. It starts with a P and ends with assword. Don't tell anyone.
Password. Oh my.
That's a
I had to
bad
edit that out.
Oh, okay, that might.
What is
Well,
What is
it's
that,
okay. That was incorrect.
The tavern session
Is
was.
that
No,
like-
it's correct.
Capital P.
That's why it was
Dreamer, is it
incorrect.
like some
Ah.
Now you're gonna have
What?
to edit that out.
All right.
Darn. The password is actually kobold.
No, it's not.
But yes, he's fired.
Go
All right.
Was-
Misty Forest call. What does that do?
Oh,
All right, I shot. Dude, Death Flame. Oh, Death Flame isn't as good as I thought it was. And Fire Kick EX.
Alright,
Can
Do
you
them
put
as you
them
wish.
out on like? I'm just gonna set them out onto the wide open area so I can look at them all for a moment.
Okay. Anyways, anything else anyone got to do?
Does Aster ever give Zoe her mask back, or does he just
Well.
kind of keep it?
Yeah, well, if I'm fired, I'm keeping it as collateral.
Do you mention that?
Yes, I will mention that.
Oh. I see. You just kind of... how do you do that? Because that will probably vary Zoe's reaction a little bit.
Bippy,
essentially-
real quick, Bippy. I had notes on one of these colors. Are you able to tell which one?
What? Oh,
Or if I had notes at all?
no.
Were they just removed? Okay.
No, I mean, I can't check the other colors.
Ah, dang it.
So I don't know.
Process of elimination time.
Okay.
All right.
So, yeah, how does Aster tell that?
Fairly plainly, as soon as whoever hired me says they fired me, I'm keeping all the
Didn't
stuff.
that already happen?
Yes. Well, I don't think did it happen during the session last
Yes, it already happened.
time? Okay. Well,
No,
Okay,
so
then,
you're just not gonna mention it? Oh, okay.
okay.
That's
I will just-
disappointing and we'll get Zoe killed.
All right. So I suppose the night goes off. There's watches. It's a bit cold.
No,
Nope.
no, he's not fired. Whatever. Let's just get this over with.
Is that in character? Corvine, is that in character?
Like this shit's not important.
All right.
Give
So-
the item back.
Yep, sure. Whenever the character asks for it, he'll give the mask back.
Okay. I feel like this got awkward. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not your fault.
Sorry, Corvine, was that all in character or is that
A little of both.
Well,
Alright.
I guess Zoe is simply happy to have it back. Kind of treasures it, puts it up. Or at her side. I've forgotten a little too much about her. Anyway, sorry, Bippy, you just continue what you're doing.
All right. As you guys wake up, very much earlier than expected to the crying of Zoe's new children. Yeah.
I was already up trying to help Druid tend to them. What's wrong?
Mommy, I'm hungry.
Oh. Oh no. Oh no!
And
And Russell's here.
and waking up, you realize Carthel may have had a point at some point. Checking your guys' food storages, you guys seem to be running dangerously low.
Well, maybe you should have voiced that.
Carthel ever mention anything about that?
No, he didn't. He said he was just like, all he said about it was, we are in a hurry. We can't last here forever.
I
In
see.
fact, though, can you give me a roll?
Sure. Two, just me?
Yes, just you, as you are the one trying to feed the children.
Sure.
Alright, not really. Is anyone else gonna really eat or anything?
Shaoxi. Oh, sorry.
Tide would pass as food for the kids.
Alright. Also give me a roll then, Tide.
Oh. Oh, jeez. Nice.
What is it? Oh, did it go in the 5?
It's a 5.
Alright, yeah, you noticed nothing different either.
Oh no.
What about Druid? Since she is a nature.
I'm
Right.
going to go against this. Druid probably
Okay.
doesn't really have a need to eat.
Why wouldn't she have a need to eat?
I don't know, I'm wondering, does Druid have to eat?
She's a diseased person, not an undead. She does need to eat.
Alright, yeah. I'm going to argue that Druid wouldn't know, mostly because she is new to the party.
Yes, and she's also. Oh, this is about the ice sprites, isn't it?
What about ice sprites?
Oh no.
No, can't do with them.
I'm gonna assume that it's the ice sprites, and Tide's gonna assume that it's the ice sprites.
Alright.
They're chronic thieves.
But I was typing. What about the ice sprites?
Yeah,
Nothing.
what about the ice sprites, Stars? I'm sorry.
I'm actually going to cancel that. Due to your roll, you don't think any food's been stolen. It looks exactly the same as it has.
Nope.
Okay.
So I'm gonna argue that you don't really have any.
Does anyone else do anything while we wake up?
At other points, you guys do realize that maybe adding all party members has taken a toll on resources.
Just don't feed Indigo.
Do we really need to feed the dream things?
I mean, they're...
Would we not come with our own food?
Technically, no. And I suppose that yes, some of the book people did come bring their food.
Actually, yeah. Didn't Carhole bring like a ton of supplies?
I guess this is what we get
Like,
for
I
not
know-
having a slave party.
Yeah, Carthel brought a ton of supplies. Sorry,
Yep.
I didn't really make this clear. You guys have probably we did let's just say, because again there was a ton of rooms I wanted to do, but we never did them. This what we show in the tower isn't an accurate representation. You guys at this point have probably been in the tower for around 2 weeks to a month.
Well then.
Oh, that is...
I probably should have mentioned this. That is
this
completely
like...
bad.
We've been...
You've been here for a while.
I see. That
Well,
does
I
change
think-
things.
If I remember at the beginning, we weren't letting Carthel bring in like all of his slaves and all the stuff he brought because slavery.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
because Bippy was going to use them as cannon fodder, and we all know it.
Probably. But yeah, I believe Kashmir had offered to carry a bunch of that because floof of holding. So he'll he
But
checked if there was food and he doles out some food.
All the food is hair in it.
I will have you know that none of my hair gets into the floof holding.
Mm.
all right.
None of the hair is in the floof dimension.
Shaoxi is actually going to go ahead and use his Numio Pagado spell and summon some ice cream for people.
Hey.
That is too cute.
Yes, you can do that. All right, give me a roll then, shall she?
Oh, almost the 20 ice cream.
All right, Xiaoxi, you're able to make a good amount of ice cream before you feel like your magic being tapped for a bit, and you're gonna have to stop.
Alright.
All right, but yeah, I'd say, well, ice cream probably isn't the most nutritious food.
Maybe for you.
It definitely could serve maybe like 1 or 2 people breakfast, as long as they
I
eat something
mean,
better the next meal.
for a reindeer, that's like our bread and butter.
Now I'm
But,
thinking of
hey,
butter ice cream.
to be fair, it is magical ice cream, so I'll say it has nutrition to it. So yeah, Xiaoxi, as they make the ice cream, water comes off of their mane and tail as it sort of floats into the air and then freezes in place, imbued with magic, and more or less floats there as a big scoop ball of ice cream.
This is good.
Karthel and his sheep at this point, all gathering up the stuff and packing it up. Even though some people hasn't eaten, he understands that they just need to keep moving, because if they stay here too long, it's wasted.
Yeah, Zoe is
Eh.
starting to agree, and we'll probably try to help a little bit. Though also is gonna multitask with our kids and not do wonderful.
So give me a roll. Surprisingly,
Threatening.
you're finding that having kids isn't, well, yes, it's hard and difficult, especially with 4 new kids. It's not as hard as you thought it would be, and you're actually doing it quite,
She
which
was
is
kinda expecting this.
probably because you wrote that they were all well mannered.
Ah, Zoe,
You,
yeah.
you cheated.
Druid will help.
Yay, Druid.
It's very concerning. One of my cards stuck to my cursor and won't go.
I don't know.
There we go. Never mind.
Also,
Um,
busy too, but
So, so Druid is doing all right. Pretty much, Druid isn't, well, not as really as well read upon children caring as Zoe is. She's able to pick up on the things on what to do rather quickly and helps Zoe out.
She thinks that they need acorns, but she doesn't have any.
oh no. I was about to say maybe Druid like saw.
Taking care of a child is like taking care of an animal, right?
Yeah,
People
Pretty
are
much.
animals. It's fine.
exactly. I was gonna make a joke about Druid maybe like seeing a baby deer out in the woods, but I realized that that would be an actual like creature, so you can't really do that.
That's a person.
That's
What do
a
you do?
person.
Oh, also during the night, sorry, I was distracted checking what all my new scrolls were. I'm going to use counterfeit to try and make 2 more copies of Seven-Sided Strike.
You're gonna make 2 more copies of Seven-Sided Strike. Give me a roll. All right.
9.
Can you find Seven-Sided Strike in your deck? Because I know you used a copy of it during the last fight, so you
I
find
checked according to my sheet that I keep. I have 1 left, but I will find the one.
yeah. Please
Casper
find.
is just wonderful.
I'm not looking through that deck of 70 for card.
This is 70?
Yes, it's at
71. Oh no, I rotated. Recording, you didn't see that. But, jeez.
Okay, it's out in the big open area.
All right. There you go.
Hooray!
All right. You know, I changed my mind. I'm glad Spell Thief is getting nerfed.
Oh. Oh no.
What are you about?
They're changing it so that there's no more spell scrolls in season 4 because they're cutting down the deck size.
You trying to say that there's something busted about my character bit?
Yes, I am. No one's fault but my own, honestly. All right, with
Oh,
that,
that's a
unless
problem.
anyone else wants to do anything specifically.
Yeah, does anybody have an ability that lets me use a limited and an extra time?
Mhm.
I don't think so. Also, because of my
Same.
own technical failure.
I
I-
technically do, but you've already done it, so it's too late.
Oh, well.
Yeah, multiply marks or whatever. Mark of spell scrolls everywhere.
Ah,
All the spell scrolls.
well,
To
Frost
be honest,
does that.
that's the real reason I wanted more seven-sided strikes, more spell scrolls.
Uh-huh.
Oh no. Also, there's a technical issue in the recording. Don't worry about it. I didn't make
It's
the voice box
fine.
big enough somehow, or maybe we've just had. I think this is the most people we've ever had at one of these, probably. So, yay!
Yeah.
But I'm not showing up in it. Don't worry about it. I'm still alive, unfortunately.
All right.
Again,
Oh.
don't mind me.
So at this point, then everybody ends up gathering up after what seems to be actually take longer than it should have. Everyone gathers up. They eat somewhat of a breakfast, some upon insistence, others willingly, and they lead to the next room. Upon entering the tattered old book, you guys find with a flash of lights, and then suddenly find your guys set in a room with just all that's in it is a box. Okay? There's a box with a pillar with a small thing on the front, not thing in the middle. That's a bad explanation. A small podium in the front with a rather large red button. On the top, the roof has spikes on it.
Oh.
This can only go well.
Yep.
What do you do?
I hold position in front of the red button just to make sure nobody gets any bright ideas.
I guess.
With a click, the roof begins to fall.
Oh no. How fast?
No, I didn't click it. I said I hold position in front of.
I know. It begins to fall. It's rather slowly, but
Oh no.
yeah. You guys have time until I find the timer.
Oh no.
Wait,
Can I make like
I'm
a
confused. What?
knowledge check and see if I've read a book like this or if I know this trope?
Sure. Go ahead.
I'm confused. What's the sequence of events that just happened?
The
You
roof
walked
is now
over to
falling.
the button and the roof is falling.
All right. You have no idea. You haven't heard about this before. All right. You guys have about 1 minute till the.
So is a little
So,
worried.
Is there just the
swear
one
I
button?
I swear I didn't push the button, guys.
Why did you press the button?
I did not press the button. I was
Then
trying to
why
keep
is the
people
roof
from
falling?
pressing the button.
What?
I propose we press the button.
Why should we press the button?
I mean, is there anything else to do? We have a wall falling on us in the next 30 seconds, so why not?
Before considering pressing, Kashmir walks away from the button to see if that changes anything.
It doesn't change anything.
I motion to push the button.
All right.
Zoe is in favor of pushing the button.
Carthel runs up and pushes the button. The roof raises way up to and then it starts falling again.
Oh no. Zoe is
Cashmere
going to...
Push the
hops
button
up.
again.
Alright, you push the button again. The roof raises all the way up. It stays there for a couple seconds and then starts falling again.
Hold the button.
Cashmere walks up to the pedestal, hops up on top, and just takes a leisurely seated position on top of it to hold it down.
The button, the roof raises back up, and it stays there. It doesn't seem to open up a door. You guys are in a closed room.
Ah.
Well, that should hold it at bay while we figure something out.
Yes. The roof stays onto up.
He sits like La with his forelegs crossed like arms.
I can put the crystal guy on there. If you prefer.
That's surprisingly comfortable, but I don't mind swapping out.
Does the material of the wall change at any point?
No. It is still more of a steel color. The spikes are extremely sharp, by the way.
Oh, that's what Zoe's going to test as she tries to pretty much fly up to the wall and see if there's any hidden buttons up top or anything.
Give me a roll.
Oh,
so close.
All right.
It
You think you
wanted
find
to be a 20.
You think you find a hidden button in a panel, but as you press the panel, another spike just appears.
Oh. That's wonderful. Zoe is going to make sure she's ethereal.
Give me another roll.
Oh. Okay.
Alright, you're able to move out of the way of the spike. To hurt you.
Oh, good.
It comes out, it doesn't come out quick, like you press the panel and it opens up and a spike slowly comes out, so.
I see. So it's going to fly down over to the button, and she's going to do one thing that probably won't successful before she makes her remark, and that thing is, I guess, investigate the button.
Alright, give me a roll.
In the area around the button.
It's a red button.
You find that the button is obscured by a butt.
Yeah. The podium around the button seems to have a written out in a words in a language, but you are unable to understand this language.
Oh.
You did say that there was a box in the room?
What? Oh no, the room is a box.
Oh, gotcha.
Like portal test chamber? I'm dying. Portal
room is
test
made of
chamber
cardboard.
sized?
Do we hear any monotone voices speaking to us? And in front of us?
No, it's just a room.
Can I read the language and or try to decipher it?
Give me a roll.
Okay.
And who's doing this?
This is Scamamail.
All right. No, you are unable to read it. And sorry, Zoe, you read it, didn't you?
Or she tried to read it.
What did you roll again?
I think it was like a 7. Or
A 7?
It was 7 or like 14-ish.
Just re-roll it, because I realized you might actually.
Okay.
Puzzle.
It's an @1.
No,
Oh,
you
look
have
at that.
actually no idea what this language is. You think it's some
And-
sort of you're like
This better not
you
be
don't even think
Lanma.
it's language. You think it to you it looks like some child.
This
drawing.
better not be Lanma.
Also, tied with
You're roboting stars.
Yeah. Why would it be Longma?
Because it would be dumb to say that you can't read your own language.
It's probably just like something supposedly ancient. This is the bloody. I know what this is. It's Klingon.
Yeah, the room is very clean. There's no blood anywhere.
But he was trying to say Cleon.
Oh, no. Stars disconnected.
Oh no.
Ah.
Right. Is anyone else gonna do anything?
Zoe had
My
an
only
idea,
idea was checking the language.
but I mean, her idea was going to be talking with Kashmir. So.
All right.
How do I sound right now?
Sound good.
You sound good.
Okay. I was just gonna say that Dee Dee is tied with me again, and I don't like that.
Oh yeah, everyone's tied with you. Oh wait, you mean that once?
I should give him a crit fail.
While everyone's doing this, Aster's just going to fly around the walls and knock on it with his sword, see if he can find anything.
All right, give me a roll.
I will say. Okay. Nope.
There is no. You look around on your sword, and it just seems all solid wall.
Scallop and Dunaway are gonna search for secret compartments or doors in the wall and floor as well.
All right, give me a roll.
Just one or one for each of them?
Just one.
Nine.
The room seems to be airtight, but it appears that there seems to be some magic thing that isn't preventing oxygen. So you guys,
Convenient.
the only real enemy right now is time.
Oh, well, Zoe has, I suppose, one idea. She's going to turn to Kashmir and say something along the lines of, "Hear me out, but what if we let go of the button and see if it does anything different at different points?"
I suppose it's worth a try. He looks around to see if there's any objection from anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing that happens is it works the same. We press it right before we die, and then we're back at square one.
All right. You get off the button, and
Kashmir hops off the button.
And with a click, and it starts to the ceiling starts to lower down.
He holds a hoof over the button, ready to push it if it's about to stab them.
All right, it keeps lowering down. 10 seconds left. There's a music playing in the background, like dun 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 dun. No, I'm kidding.
It's the Sonic drowning theme.
Oh,
That's
good. I think I know what YouTube channel Bippy.
Yeah,
follows.
I think I do too. I saw this.
It's coming down.
On Reddit
10,
first.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5. The spikes get closer. 4.
Zoe does the
3.
snake duck. Snake duck.
They seem
Duck
to be
snake.
inches
Crotch.
away from 2, 1. The spikes touch against your spur. And just before they draw blood, there's a ding sound as the roof raises back up in a door.
Zoe gets up from her couch position and kind of.
She gets up from her snack crotch.
Snake duck. And then kind of just gives a before walking over to the door.
Some of the party members are just really frizzled by this. You can tell that Karthal seems extremely pissed off about this room, actually. He's like, this is so freaking stupid. And he's like letting out a bunch of reindeer curses, like just eat this room and eat.
Ken meals with him. She just doesn't feel quite
Actually-
as strongly about it.
Zoe does not go over to the door. She goes over to her children and tries to cover their ears. Also, maybe Druid.
Nah, Drew, it's fine.
The sheep go over and try to help with covering the ears. This is eat, bull, eat.
Oh no, Xiaoxi.
Carthel was like, this room is a load of cow.
Whoa. Can't say that. That's a cow.
Aurora just sort of shrivels up upon mean words.
Someone's going to hug her after the mean words stop.
Oh, Tide's actually gonna go do it.
To who?
Aurora.
Alright, what do you do?
Hug that dough.
You gotta hug the dough? Alright.
Uh-huh.
No.
You give the dough a hug, and she seems to calm down a bit after that as Carthel then stomps out of the room.
That dough.
That dodo.
Yeah. Is it sourdough? Oh, next- yeah, I can make a reindeer called sourdough, and I can add that to pizza's food characters.
Also
Sourdough.
make Play-Doh and also add them to the food characters, despite suggestion.
They do.
What?
Play-Doh. Delicious.
It's just
Is Kashmir, Aster, Xiaoxi, you guys want to do anything?
Yeah, get the heck out of this room.
Sounds like a plan.
This room is pretty terrible. Let's go.
All right, you guys on to the next room, and as you exit, you look behind. It's just the book's name is Stupid Traps, and you find yourselves in another room, just like the one before, where it's just a stone circle. It's a bit chilly. Eye of the clouds, and in front of you is another book. It's fine, but this one's a lot bigger than the usual one. It's a really thick book. No, it is not.
I
called
wait for death.
Spell book. I got the the room was from the Unforgotten Realms show. Actually,
I wait for death.
No, don't. He's a jerk.
Does anyone want to stay in the room, or does everyone just head on it?
Moving along.
Yeah, let's... I mean, is there anything interesting in this room?
No, not really. Oh, I meant
That seems like a trap.
the stone room or the spike room.
The stone room.
Spike room still has spikes.
Oh. Yeah, so does everyone move out of the spike room?
I think so.
Yes. Yes, I'm pretty sure people don't like having spikes hanging over their heads that could.
I mean, some might. Like, I don't
Alright,
know, just
Next
start-
is the stone room, and there's Carthel, who's just about to enter in, and he turns around. He's like, "That room was useless. We should just move on as quickly as we can." And the sheep sort of give him a bah, and
You're just embarrassed, right?
no. It was that room was so stupid. It should just ugh. And he just walks right on ahead into the next book. So the very large book sits in front of the party.
I pull the book out. Oh.
I mean, I guess Zoe will go over to it with Ty.
Help pull it out.
Probably not help pull it out, but like look at it.
I'm not actually pulling it.
Okay.
Does the book have a title?
No, it's the you guys are seeing the pages of the book, but it is large. So think it's like if you think of it like this way, the other books, if you compare them to this is the equivalent of this book to the other books, is like comparing the first Harry Potter to the fifth book.
But one of these books is Fallout Fœnum.
What?
He has a point, you know.
Okay. Fair enough. But I mean, this book is even bigger than that book.
So
Guess.
this is Project Horizons. Everybody run!
Oh no.
Let's go back to the spike room.
Am I gonna have to censor the stream?
Okay, let's go into the book.
Yeah, I guess
But
so.
is it?
Big book. Zoe.
Anyone against this? Alright. With a no, the entire party enters the book. Upon entering the book, what appears to be an actually very regal looking place. Not like European regal, more like Japanese regal look to it.
But those people don't exist.
You know, okay,
Who now?
Hoshan regal, okay?
Ooh. Fancy.
So fancy.
You notice that it seems to be a large table on which chairs to it. There doesn't seem to be anything on the table. And there appears to be windows, but there doesn't really seem to be an exit to said windows. And there is one figure sitting at the very head of the table on a cushion. This figure is the longest Ma.
Hey, Zhang Ma.
And she says, and the Empress sits there. Oh, yes. I haven't had guests in so long. Why don't you all take a seat? And I could tell you about anything you want, really.
Aster will stand.
Zoe is also going to be a little not the opposite of at ease.
Carthel quite eagerly actually takes a seat.
As does well, maybe not as eagerly as Carthel,
All right.
but Kashmir politely takes a seat.
I should actually
joins them if
I should actually
kids are
notice.
okay.
I should say something. Everyone in the party here, except for Zoe, probably doesn't even recognize this Longma. It's actually very rare to actually know. While the Empress is mentioned a lot and everyone knows what she is, most people don't actually know what she looks like. In this, Zoe looks like an exact copy of her, pretty much.
One would presume she is bigger and fancier than any Longma we've ever seen before.
Oh yes, this is a very, very long snake.
So we'll also take a seat and make a comment, kind of in admiration but confusion. Hello. It's good to meet you.
Oh, hello there, Zoe. How is my fortune teller doing?
She does a blink. And
My child, sit down, talk. What have you been through?
she looks at the rest of the party and kind of try to gauge his reaction.
Wait, Zoe, is this your mom?
no druid, or no way? No.
She gives a laugh and says, "Come, take a seat. Who's this friend of yours, my
So
child?"
Druid sits in the seat like a horse does,
Is
like
anyone
with
else?
their legs tucked in,
So
side sideways.
who is refusing to sit?
Tide is apprehensive about it.
All right. Is anyone else refusing to sit, or is
I
everyone
think
else sitting
Camille just wants
down?
to look around the room.
I think Astor was standing.
She's just gonna
Yeah.
go for a wander.
There isn't really much to the room. It's pretty closed off.
But there's a style to it. There's details.
Having
Yes.
a wander over yonder.
She's taking in the culture.
Look at all the windows!
I know.
All right.
Look out there.
Is anyone else standing, or is everyone else taking a seat?
Xiaoxi will look a little uncertain and actually look towards God before sort of apprehensively sitting down.
Gods actually knows who this is, and he motions for Xiaoxi to take a seat.
Kashmir was probably the second person to sit down after Carthel.
All right.
And
So I believe that you were asked a question. How are you? I must say. Are these all your friends?
yes.
Wonderful. Quite wonderful. Would you like to know anything?
Does Carthel pipe up at this point?
Oh yes, Cardinal does. He's all like, "Oh, it is." Oh, excuse me, one sec.